Big Show.
Yeah.
The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.
Good morning.
Sometimes getting out of bed in the morning is a lot to deal with all at once.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Today, we welcome Kelly Tay once again from Juicy Parenting. Good morning, Kelly.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me back.
Good morning and good evening. You're still in Canada. Tell us what time it is there and where exactly you are.
I am still in Canada, so I am in Ontario. It is Thursday at 8:05 p.m. So we are 12 hours behind Singapore.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. Nice and cool there in the evening as well, I'm quite sure. Now, today we are going to touch on what Prime Minister Lawrence Wong mentioned during the National Day rally. I do believe that his stance, echoed by the Ministry of Health, is that there should be no screen time for infants and toddlers. He also stressed encouraging outdoor activities and real-world play instead. And the government is studying international efforts to strengthen online safety and is considering more ways to support parents in navigating screen time for young children. And today we're talking to Kelly about that.
Yeah, it's much like I think how possibly Prime Minister Lawrence Wong was brought up as well. You know, playing in the outdoors. You know, obviously no screens back then as well. So is this something that you agree with, Kelly? I mean, you are a parent of a 4 and a 6-year-old. What is your experience like when it comes to screen time for your kids?
For me, honestly, I 100% back PM Wong up on this. I think it is the right thing to do. For me personally, and this is going to raise eyebrows, my kids are screen free. They do not use any devices. They do not have any TV. We started it when my daughter was born. Now she's 6, and it's the same for my son who just turned 4. So for us, we just decided that yes, it's going to be harder. Yes, it's going to go against the grain. But based on all the research I had read, all the papers I had read about screen time use and kids' brains, it didn't make sense to me to start this so young. And, you know, there are just so many studies, including local studies, that show that it is just not healthy for developing brains.
So you grew up around the same time that we did, probably a decade or two later. But, you know, television has been around since the 50s, you know, and everyone grew up with it. You know, Saturday morning cartoons, this and that.
Sesame Street on Saturdays as well.
The Muppet Show.
My mom used to
Electric
make
Company.
me watch Sesame Street and Electric Company.
Because it was educational, right? I mean, it was harmless. So we thought. I mean, we grew up kind of fine. But you're saying in your home, give me the lay of the land. Like, how does it work? There's no television in the living room, I assume. Maybe just in the bedroom that you share with your husband, and obviously none for the kids.
So there is a TV in our living room.
Okay.
But we don't turn it on at all until the kids are asleep. And even then, we don't watch it that much. A little bit of Netflix here and there. But our kids don't have any TV at all. And I think also now the concern is less about a TV that is stationary and that is programmed. It's more about a small device, a handheld device that you can bring around and that you can endlessly scroll and loop through, right? Whether it's like watching quick TikTok videos or watching YouTube that just keeps moving to the next one, short form content that is quite overstimulating and quite fast for little developing brains. So I think that is really the concern there. Although, yes, screen time includes TV time.
Right. But do your kids come home and go like, Mommy, you know, so-and-so in my class, you know, is talking about this TV show, this cartoon or something like that, you know? You know, can I watch it? Or, I mean, do they feel ever like they're missing out? Do they come home like a little sad sometimes?
I feel like you should have my kids here and like interview them.
Yeah.
I mean, from our perspective, no, they do. I mean, I think because they've always grown up and we've always been honest. It's not like a privilege where we're just like, oh, it's a reward, you get screen time, or it's a threat, we take it away. We've just been very honest saying, you know, the science is so clear. You have a beautiful, wonderful developing brain, and we don't want to mess with that. And we want to keep your brain developing well. And so we've told them from the beginning, this is why you don't have screen time. And we've also said, you know, if your friends are talking about a certain character on TV that you want to know about, just tell us. And then we'll go borrow a book. We can talk about it, So my kids hear about Frozen all the time. They hear about Paw Patrol. They can name every single character. They can tell you what happens in Frozen. But they've gotten that knowledge through books and through songs, like through playing the playlist. So they feel like they know the characters, they know the storyline. When their friends are talking about what happens, they know what's going on. But it's just that the medium through which they're getting the information is through a book, not through a screen.
I guess some
It's very,
parents
very
are
different.
Yeah, some parents will probably be going like, "Hey, Kelly, but why don't you then be selective about the things that
That
your,
they watch, they control,
your
right?
kids can watch?" Okay, let's talk a little bit more about that on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's MGK and Jelly Roll, Lonely Road on Kiss 92. Okay.
Yeah, because I absolutely love like that you guys have managed, that you and your husband have managed to keep that in control, for 6 years, because your daughter is 6, right? But at what age will you say, okay, you can go watch a movie with your friends? There's a new release of, say, Frozen 20 or something. But when will you say yes to, okay, you can go?
Honestly, I don't think we have a specific age in mind. To us, we're just kind of taking, like, okay, how's this year feeling? How's the behavior feeling? Does this feel like it's okay? It's not okay? So far, honestly, every single parent I know who has introduced their kids to screens has told us, keep going, do not introduce it, delay as long as you can, because once you do, there's no going back. And once you do, there's the badgering and the pestering, like, hey, I want, 1 more minute, 10 more minutes, 1 more hour, whatever. And we've taken that seriously. I think it's not, when every single parent tells you that, it tells you something, right? As a younger parent, it's just like, okay, I'll learn from you. If you wish you would have delayed, I'll take your advice seriously. And so for us, I don't think it's a specific age. It's more looking at, okay, do we feel there is a lack in their lives now that they, their friends are all watching this thing and they don't? So far, we don't feel that there's a lack because books suffice. Maybe once we hit a certain age, mid-primary school maybe, where they're just like, okay, everyone's talking about this thing. Maybe we might then, but I can't tell you a specific age. And that's what I tell my clients too, like, don't think about age. Look at your unique child's development and their behavior. A lot of parents tell me that, gosh, my child's behavior is so much worse after they've had screen time. And they wish that they wouldn't have screen time. And I'm like, you're the parent. You get to decide. You get to, if you're noticing that your child's behavior is just completely falling apart after having screen time, maybe try reducing the screen time. Maybe try doing an experiment where 3 days you go without, 3 days you go with, and you compare. And you're like, if you see an issue with behavior, then maybe pare back. If things are working for you, great. But I think what's important to know is that, the science is so clear that screen time, especially for young kids, and by young, I mean, in Singapore, there was a study looking at 0 to 18 months. I think that's how they defined the toddler age. It was so clear. They did a 10-year study looking at babies when they were in their mom's belly, all the way to when they were 9 years old. So it was a 10-year study. They looked at 437 Singapore babies. And they found that if you had increased screen time as a young baby and toddler, you had increased attention deficits and lower executive function, right? And so the science, and this is a local study, there are so many international studies that show the same thing. And so I think regardless of thinking about, oh, is this educational, or, I'm only doing X amount of time, just thinking about, hey, the science is so clear on this. And then deciding what kind of future do you want for your kid? What kind of brain development do you want for your kid? Do you want to pay a bit now because it's really intensive parenting now, and then reap the rewards later? Or say, you know what, I'm okay with this now, but I accept later there will be deficits. That's for every parent to decide, right?
And that's why there's so much ADHD around, right? Because it's just this overstimulation and like constant need to be rewarded from the 3-second videos. It's just like, and you've seen us as well, we're constantly just doom scrolling, right? Can you imagine the kids? And when they don't get that, you see them screaming and breaking out into a tantrum, because if you take that away, then no one is entertaining them in the meantime. So, which is my question. If parents want to make the change now, and their kids are already used to,
Oh my
to
God.
screen time.
Too late, man, I think.
Or if parents want to start on the journey, they have to also realize that if you take that away or if you do without the screen time, the kids are going to need to be sort of kept busy and entertained. And are parents willing to do that? Do they have the time?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think that, when PM Wong stated this in his National Day rally, a lot of people were up in arms and saying, this is not possible. I can't not give my kids screen time. I need downtime myself. And I think this, it's more than just a screen time issue. It's also about parents are burned out, parents are tired, parents are not really resourced themselves, and we're not really caring for ourselves as parents that well. So how can we bolster these things so that we don't have to rely on screen time as a babysitter? And then also having some appropriate expectations about your kids are going to melt down. When you remove the iPad, like if they're used to the iPad, they are going to be upset. It's like if I removed your phone from you while you were watching your favorite thing, you would be upset. So just accept that your child would be upset. Allow them to be upset and still hold the boundary. I think what I see a lot of times is parents becoming afraid that their kid's going to throw a tantrum.
Yeah.
And then just being like, yeah, okay lah, just have the iPad. But that's actually really counterproductive, right? You're the adult, you are in charge, you get to decide, right, what is appropriate for your child, and then you follow through. And it means accepting that they're going to be upset and not being afraid of their feelings.
Especially in public.
Yeah.
Like in private, it's kind of like, okay, I can smack you if I want to, or put you in your room, or do whatever, give whatever sort of, corporal punishment or whatever. But in public, they're like, yeah, take the phone and go entertain yourself.
Yeah, don't make me lose face.
Exactly, yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I think you're...
Kelly, hold on. We're going back on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the AYE towards Tuas before Telok Blangah Road, look out for a broken down vehicle. And also on the PIE towards Tuas as well before Jalan Yunus. There is an accident and this is causing a backup all the way to Bedok North Avenue 3. If you're along that stretch, avoid lane 1. If you spot anything else, it's 8855 0920.
Good morning and welcome back to The Big Show on The Big Show TV. We are speaking to Kelly Tay. You can follow her at juicy.parenting, okay? And I think it was a very important thing that you brought up just now. About kids, in public and parents being afraid to take their devices away.
Yeah.
Just in case they throw a tantrum.
And they break down. And I've seen so much of it. I mean, you see it on, and terrible, this is ironic, you see it a lot on social media, right? That parents taking the phones away and their iPads, and the kids completely melting down, throwing a hissy fit on the floor, screaming and shouting. And it's not, you can't blame the children, because who else is going to stimulate their brains as quickly as a TikTok video or a Paw Patrol or what have you? We have actually a couple of people that have commented on Facebook. Zach said he feels very sad for your kids, Kelly, because they never got to see Frozen. Okay? And then we have Benjamin, who is asking the question, how messed up can the brain get with screen time?
Yeah, so I guess to the first comment, it's not that they will never see Frozen. It's that we will wait for their brains to be a bit more developed before we expose them to a good 2-hour movie. Actually, MOH's recommendation is for preschoolers. So from 18 months to 6 years old, the maximum screen time is 1.5 hours. 1.5 hours. And a movie is over 1.5 hours, right? And so everyone who is showing their kids a movie, technically, that's way more than MOH's guidelines. So it's just something to think about. I think about it less as a lack and more of that you're giving your kids the opportunity for their brain to grow. You're giving them the stories through books and other means. And when they're old enough and when their brain is a little bit more developed, then the screen time can come. Sorry, Angel, what was the second question?
The second question was, how messed up can a brain be with screen time?
So with that study that I mentioned earlier, it was a 10-year study by MOH, I believe. Was it MOH? I don't know. It was a Singapore study looking at kids over 10 years. So from the time a baby was an infant in their mother's belly, all the way to when they were 9 years old. And they found that the kids who had increased screen time had increased deficits around, attention span, executive functioning skills, and they found that this lasted all the way even past the kid's 8th birthday. So your screen time from 0 to 18 months, that impacts how your child is performing in school, because how they scored it was they asked teachers to then rate these kids on, how their attention was, how were their skills in terms of like time management and this sort of stuff. And they found that the effects lasted all the way past 8 years old. So it is a long, long impact.
Okay. All right. Because I wanted to give an example as well, but Shalini is going like, no, it's time. Okay. It's 8:20 right now.
Brought to you by Putian.
Okay, I wanted to bring that up on air, but then it's okay. This is fine as well. So, in terms of how damaging it can be when you watch TV and stuff like that, like
Benjamin.
I think no, Kelly is absolutely right. I think PM Wong is absolutely right as well, because when kids see things on TV, it stays with them.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I was like really, really young when I was exposed to Wonder Woman on TV, and I'm like, that's
she
it.
Stayed with you.
I'm like, all my girlfriends need to look like Linda Carter, and I was like 9 years old, and see what happened.
It's very because kids are so impressionable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like little sponges.
And then
Anything
there was
you
the
put in-
Bionic Woman, and then there was Charlie's Angels, and I'm like,
my gosh.
okay, that's it.
Yeah.
All my women are gonna be,
They have to
kinda
dress like that, tight outfits, cleavage, and everything.
And see how messed up I am. There you go.
But Kelly,
I think also,
no, carry on.
sorry, I just wanted to add that it's not, I think parents often are fixated with what happens when screen time is happening to my kid's brain. But it's not just about the viewing. It's about the opportunity cost that comes with so much time spent on a device, what your child could be doing otherwise. So a lot of studies show like language developmental delays, for example, because kids are glued to this thing instead of interacting. So for example, at meal times, right? If a kid is perpetually having an iPhone in front of them while they have their meals, you're not just focusing on what's happening while they're watching. You also should be thinking about what are they missing out on. They're missing out on interacting with other people, with developing conversational skills, with understanding social cues and mealtime etiquette, right? There are a lot of things that you miss out on. And I think part of PM Wong's point was, when so much time is being spent on screens after school, where's the playing happening? Where's the outdoor time happening? There's myopia happening instead, right? Like we shouldn't just be thinking about, but the screen time is fine if I'm showing them this. It's also about what else could they be doing if they weren't on a device.
Right.
It's kind of, I feel it's a cop-out way of parenting. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to just say, okay, I tell you what, you learn your counting through Count Dracula on Sesame Street or wherever he's, Muppet Show or whatever he's on. You know what I mean? And that's very educational, which is what our parents taught as well. I just wanted exactly. 1, 2, and
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. There you go. I wanted to ask you. You said 0 to 18 months
for
right?
toddlers.
For 0 to 18 months, absolutely no screen time. After 18 months,
MOH guideline.
1.5 hours, right? Per day, right?
All the
You're
way
saying?
till 6. Yes,
All the way till 6.
Maximum.
So if a movie were less than 90 minutes, say Frozen was less than 90 minutes, would it then be okay for a parent to bring their above 18-month-old child to the movies, watch a movie, let them enjoy it, but then go home, do what you do, no screen time and all that? Would that be okay to indulge?
I mean, I really think it's up to each family to decide. And just to be really clear that, every country has different guidelines on this. So MOH may say 1.5, another country may say none until 4, right? It's a completely fluid state. Things are still evolving. Scientists are still researching this stuff. So I think every family just has to decide for themselves, what am I okay with? And I don't think I want to sit here and be like, everyone should have no screen time. Like, that's not realistic for some families, right? Depending on what kind of resources you have, what's your job status like. I can work from home. It's different for me, right? I'm able to do this kind of parenting. But so I think I really hope people don't come away with this being like, Kelly said no screen time ever. Like, no, that's not the point. The point is to be very clear, like be researched on what actually happens to your kids' brains when they're on screens and what they could be doing otherwise. Taking a hard look at your family's values, priorities, resources, and deciding, okay, this is the path I'm going to take. And if you're feeling like something in your behavior right now, in your system at home is not aligned with where you want to be, it is never too late to make a change. You just have to accept in the meantime there's going to be some friction, it's hard, and then you can always move on. You know, you can make changes, you can be honest with your kids, you can tell them, hey, mama just learned some new information today. What we've been doing is actually not great for your brains. We're going to be doing it differently. From now on, you only have an hour and a half. This is how we're going to split it up. And you are allowed to be upset with it. I'm going to allow you to be upset. You can cry. You can be mad about
Nothing's going to change.
Nothing's going to change. The boundary still holds, right? Like, I'm still the parent. I get to decide. One day when you're old enough and it's your turn to decide, you will decide. But right now, it's my decision. You just own it.
So your kids eventually will go to a school, I think, that has devices, that have iPads, you know, and computers and all that. Will you just, because a lot of other kids will be well ahead of their tech savviness because they have not been exposed prior, right? Would you then see the need to, say, prep them before they went to school, or just leave it to their own devices and let them learn along the way in
Their
school?
own devices.
Right? There you go. No pun intended.
Pun intended. I mean, I really think that, first of all, I wouldn't necessarily assume that my kids would be like that far behind. Like, okay, maybe they wouldn't know certain buttons. But kids really pick this stuff up faster than people think. You know, my kids have no screen time, right? But they know how to use my phone. Like, they know how to open the camera app on my phone. They know how to take pictures. They know how to zoom in, zoom out, swipe and all that, because they see us doing it. And if we think, like, I assume a lot of the people listening in are probably like my generation, and they're probably, think about when you were a kid, right? Like, we grew up without the internet, and then the internet happened, and we figured out how to use computers just fine. And, you know, it really is like, our kids are so quick to learn this stuff. I don't think not exposing them for a few years is really going to be a detriment. In fact, I think it's going to be a positive thing.
So you're just delaying the process, basically, because it is going to happen.
I have nothing against screens. I'm not a Luddite. I use screens for my business. It's important. I just do think that if the science is so clear that we have to protect their brains and their developing brains, then let's just do it. You know, it's going to be harder in the short run, but, you know, I really do have to say, like, my kids play so independently. People always come up and be like, how are they so, you know, like, able to play for hours on end on their own without interrupting you?
Training.
They go to plays, like, they watch Phantom of the Opera, they watch...
Okay, hold on. We're going for a traffic update.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, taking a look at the situation on the roads. If you're on the PIE heading towards the airport before Kallang Way, avoid lane 4. A vehicle has broken down. Same situation on the AYE towards Tuas before Telok Blangah Road. Avoid lane 4. Vehicle is having trouble there. And finally on the PIE towards Tuas before Jalan Yunus, causing congestion all the way to Bedok North Avenue 3, is an accident in lane 1. Wherever you are, stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. What a treat. We have Kelly Tay with us, and we're getting some parenting tips. We've been discussing what Prime Minister Lawrence Wong mentioned at the National Day rally, screen time for toddlers and children. And I think, what you're doing with your kids is amazing. Really, I wish my mom did that with me. But my mom's a TV addict, you see. So even till this day, she's about to turn, she'll be 80 next year. I just, I was just going through some of the messages that she's been sending me. This is one here. Have you watched Butterfly on Prime?
And you have, right?
It's great. And then just a few days ago, she sent me another message. She's like, another good one on Prime is a show called Ballard.
Ballard.
I have no idea.
Ballard.
So she's constantly
sending you
recommending me, like these movies and TV shows and all that. And I have to say that, I think I am one of those people, because I used to watch so much TV as a kid. I can't do without it now.
Same.
You know, I
Same.
watch so much TV,
But I
which
think-
might not be a good thing. I should be reading a little bit more, but then I read at work quite a bit. So
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
newspapers count as reading, but I think we are privileged to have grown up in the era of television to computers to devices, so we kind of know what works for us. And I feel like if we had to go without our phones for a day, we would still be okay. But
Yeah.
then there's this new generation that only knows devices. You know, everything that they own is in their phones, and who remembers a phone number these days? You know, back in the day, you had to remember like 10 phone numbers, right? Kevin is on our Facebook and says, "I never allow my kids to use their phones while eating, and I don't do it as well. But it's often that the parents or the relatives are watching say a movie or something on their device while eating in front of the children, so the kids think it's okay."
What's this
I think
question
this
for
is touching
Kelly?
on a
No
really-
question. His comment.
No, it's a comment, but I think it's an insightful and important one that we are our children's first teachers, right? So whatever we want to see happen, we have to model, which means, yeah, you know, the phone goes away at the table to make sure that no one is on a device, right? And we're modeling these behaviors of like, oh, we're reading an actual book, you know, and we are not always on our screens as well. But I think part of this also is I do think society has to be a little bit more understanding of kids in public places. So let's say in a restaurant, a lot of times people use screens to kind of shut their kids up, honestly, and to kind of occupy them so that they're not making noise. Because if you have kids who don't have a screen, especially when they're young, at the beginning when they're learning etiquette, they're learning how to sit down and have a meal, they're going to be a bit loud. They're going to maybe talk louder than you would like. They're going to maybe experiment with what the glasses and the chopsticks do, you know, banging things. And I think a lot of times people are really paise and they're just like, okay, I'm just going to give this to you so that you don't cause any trouble. But again, we rob our kids of the opportunity of learning mealtime etiquette and learning how to sit in a restaurant and, you know, behave in a certain way. And so I do think that part of this is also society coming on board and saying, okay, all of us as a whole, not just parents, we're going to help families not rely on screen time so much. We're not going to shoot judgy looks when a kid is being a little bit louder, when parents are making the effort to teach them something. And I do think, you know, to all the parents out there who are struggling with this, I really want to say, Jiayo, like keep at it, because we often get really elderly aunties and uncles coming to our table giving us compliments on how, wow, the kids are sitting and they're feeding themselves and they're having conversation and all this is so wonderful. And I wish I had, you know, a long time to tell them, well, it's because of all these efforts over the years, like small little efforts compound into big ones over time. And this also includes other caregivers like my parents who help look at the kids sometimes, like watch the kids. They don't put the TV on. They don't watch their screens and their phones. So kudos to them as well. So this, I guess this is what I mean by it takes everybody to come and help with this national effort to say no screen time for babies and toddlers, you know.
Right.
It takes a village, right? As they say.
It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. I think, you know, if we see a kid out there and the kid is throwing tantrums and stuff like that, the parents need to do a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. And
I mean, not putting anyone down because
Yeah.
it's a hard job, but as you know, Kelly said, Jiayu.
yeah. You're doing well, but everyone can do better.
That's right.
No judgment.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Always nice to be here. Thank you.
We can't wait to have you back in the studio when you come back to Singapore.
Yeah, safe travels. We'll see you back in Singapore.
Thank you.
Take care, Kelly. All right, up next, we have Dahlia from Berita Harian. She's next, right here on The Big Show.
Go big or go home. The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.
And our second guest for this morning, we are live right now on YouTube as well as Facebook, and of course live on Kiss 92 as well. Our Kaki Makan is in the house, Dahlia.
Hi, morning.
Good morning, and you can follow Dahlia at kakimakan.bh.
Yeah, welcome
all the
back,
latest
Dahlia.
updates, yes.
Yeah, you have like the best job in the world, especially in Singapore. You know, everyone's all about the food. So what's the food today?
Yes, so for today's Pakistani dum biryani, very different than the Indian style. And the second one is Shell Out. So I'm not sure if you heard about it. So it's like Louisiana style Shell Out with salted egg yolk sauce that you pour all over the table and get your hands dirty.
This is the one with the whole plastic
Yes,
sheet that you just like
Yeah.
It's like seafood, right?
Yes.
heard of
seafood,
it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay. Tell us about this Pakistani dum biryani.
Okay, so this is my first time trying Pakistani dum biryani. I think most of us Singaporeans are very familiar with the Indian style biryani, which is very, I would say, flavorful, full of spice. And you know, the Pakistani dum biryani is slightly more subtle in flavor. And I would say this is the first one that I tried at Maxwell Food Centre. So it's actually owned by husband and wife duo. And I would say that their Pakistani dum biryani, it's really very delicious. Okay, so we have the wife Yusnita and also Rizwan. So the husband is from Pakistan himself. So they've been doing the business, I would say, since COVID back then. They started as a HBB. So they are known for the nasi dum biryani and also for the nasi palau. So the palau is like a white-ish rice, like you can see. So it's the biryani on the left and the palau on the right. So it's really very nice, although it looks plain, but it's really very fragrant, very light. And they do have also the lamb biryani as well, and also the chicken biryani. So the mutton biryani, it's $9. So it's really very nice and it's not gamey. And what is so special about the biryani is that they make their own yogurt. So when they make their own yogurt, they put it in the rice and layer it all together. So it's very light, very delicious. It doesn't feel heavy, because I find Indian biryani, it's too heavy sometimes. And you also have the side of curry.
Yeah.
So it's a little too spicy and you might not be able to enjoy the rice on its own. So this on its
So
own.
there's Pakistan 1, India 0.
Oh, careful now. Careful.
For me, I like the Pakistani one better,
Right.
because the rice really shines on its own and you don't really need gravy. I think most Singaporeans will like, more flavor, more gravy, it's really good. But this is really very light. And you know how they cook it is that for the chicken itself, I normally don't pick chicken. I'll always
You
pick
like
lamb
mutton or something, yeah.
because it's more flavorful, right? But you know, the chicken is actually marinated for 24 hours.
Ooh.
So marinated for 24 hours and then they fry it first, but not fully fry it, and then they layer it with the rice. So you can really see how the chicken really penetrates.
I love chicken biryani, so I'm
it's
going to
so
love this.
tender. I didn't expect the chicken to be that tender. So you have dalcha at the side. So it's slightly watered down. It's not like your thick dalcha. I
Right.
normally avoid dalcha because sometimes it gets too thick.
So this is refreshing.
Refreshing, yes. And on the right is actually yogurt with cucumber and tomatoes. So I like it as a form of palate cleanser as well.
It's like a raita, right?
Yeah, it's like a raita. So it's really very delicious. And you know, the owner shared with me that, you know, she actually wanted to pick maybe common areas where, you know, it's slightly more centralized, but the late mother encouraged her to go to Maxwell Food Centre, you know, to reach to a wider group of demographic tourists. And also, you know, you have your CBD workers coming there. And I would say the response has been really great so far.
Are they new?
So
I mean,
good.
have they been there for a while?
I think for like 2 years, but
Okay.
they started off as a HBB, and then from there they moved to Maxwell Food Centre.
And I think dum biryani is a bit healthier also. Huh?
Yeah, yes.
But it's nice because, I mean, a lot of people don't realize that the rice has to shine.
yes,
You know, I feel like the curries and all that I mean, the local biryani is great, but I feel the curries mask what the rice is meant to do already.
Yep.
You can taste in a certain biryani the spices, the just the whole flavor is in a grain of rice.
Yes, and you can see it's very. I think it's quite a rare setting to see hawker using a chef suit or
outfit,
like an
yeah.
outfit, right? But he said it's really very important. He said if you know a bus driver have a uniform, a pilot has a uniform, why can't I use this?
Right.
And it's a form of
course.
protection that as he lifts up, you know, the lid of the pot, right? The steam doesn't hurt his hand as well.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it's functional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he weighs every single thing, you know, every single ingredient. He's I would say the most meticulous hawker I've ever met.
Wow.
And I can really taste from the food. I would really vouch to say that this biryani, it's really very good. And I can read the eat the rice on its own.
Oh, wow,
And I
okay.
will order chicken again as well.
It's kind of like chicken rice, but not.
Yeah.
Maxwell Food Center. There you go.
Yes.
Very cool.
I mean, accessible to everyone.
Yep, it's called Pakistani Dum Biryani.
Ooh, when I come back from Bangkok, that's the first
There
place
you
I'm going to go.
If you're going, they open on the weekends as
Yes.
well, Saturday as well. Okay, so Monday through to Saturday or until sold out from 10:45 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yep.
at 0169. Very easy to remember.
I guarantee you after today's show, right? That's it. People will already
Sold
be
out.
going
Actually,
there to try
They've been sold out.
the biryani.
You know, like early afternoon as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So you do have to come down really early.
Now-
And the portions are huge. You know,
Oh, yeah.
whatever you saw in the picture, right? It's not just because media was there, but really the portion was huge. And I was like, how am I going to finish this on my own?
So 2 people can share.
Yeah,
a
I
pack.
brought it back.
No problem.
It's really good. Yeah.
Okay, let's continue to talk to Dahlia on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Timberland featuring Katy Perry, If We Ever Meet Again, on Kiss 92. Sure. So the lamb biryani you were saying, is that lamb shank?
There is also lamb shank. So
Ooh.
it's really fall off the bone. And I did, talk to the owner. Like I think I've mentioned in the previous episode that, if they do not clean the lamb properly or any of their meats properly, I don't like that gamey smell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really too strong. It's such a turn off and I get headache from it. As much as it sounds very exaggerated. But, when I eat it, not only the meat is tender, but, they really clean it well.
Right.
And I know that they use enough herbs and spices in it to really mask away the flavor. And the basmati rice, there's different grade of rice. I would say they are individually grained and they're not like clumped up together. Some people do like basmati rice
get
that are like
stuck.
that
Yeah.
are stuck together, but this is really very nice and it feels very light. Some people like the usual, nasi biryani, shorter grain rice or the medium grain rice, but
Basmati is lighter,
it's
yeah.
lighter. You don't feel guilty also eating it.
It's
that-
like lower GI as
yes,
well.
yeah. So I would really say that this is a really good option. But my favorite is the nasi palau.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really very unique. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just very quickly, do you know how much the lamb shank biryani is?
The lamb shank biryani.
Because it's usually a little bit more expensive
Yeah.
everywhere else.
The mutton is $9, chicken is $8. Okay, I shall check
Okay.
on the lamb shank biryani.
Because there's a place here in Singapore where the lamb shank biryani is like $32.
For one serving?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
She
that's
is
why.
checking now. She's got the menu.
So, okay, no lamb shank, but it is mutton biryani, mutton palau, just $9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it can't be $32.
But if
so
I'm
you're
not wrong, there
adding
was
it.
actually a lamb shank biryani. He took it out for me, but
Yeah.
the price is just not indicated.
Maybe it's a special,
yeah.
not special order, but it's something
Some
that
days
is made
he has,
in a
yeah.
smaller
Yes.
batches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
well, we can always go there and ask
Yep.
if he has any more left.
So again, this is at Maxwell Food Center, 0169 10:45 a.m., which is not far from now, only 2 hours away, from Mondays through to Saturdays.
Yes.
Okay, and now Shell Out. What's it called? Saos?
Yeah, sauce.
Sauce.
Yes, but
Oh,
it's spelled in a
pronounced
very
sauce.
different way.
Yeah.
So they started off again as a HBB, home-based business back during the pandemic. So they started off just making sauces itself. So maybe you have the ayam masak merah sauce, salted egg sauce. So they bottle it up and sell it, and then people can make their own dishes as well at home. But the response were really good back then. But then one of a friend was saying, why not you try Shell Out? At that point, that Shell Out was very popular in Malaysia. Where there's a mix of seafood. Yes, so that's the husband and wife.
SAOS.
Yes, Haslina and Herman. Yes, so they started during the pandemic, from a HBB. But then the orders were really crazy, where everybody kept ordering, I think in a day, 100 to 300 tubs of seafood.
Wow.
So from the kitchen all the way to the living room, people ordered seafood, and it was insane. She was like, she can't do this anymore. So they decided to move to a central kitchen. So in the shell itself, there's crab, prawns, mussels, clams, squid that are cooked in different sauces.
So
there's-
in one bucket.
in one bucket.
In one bucket,
Yeah,
okay.
but in a set, you can choose to have 2 different buckets, which is 2 different sauce. So the option that you have is chili crab, golden buttermilk, garlic butter, black pepper, and lemak chili padi. So it comes,
Lemak chili padi. Oh, that's like,
Yes.
oh my gosh.
so it comes as a set with your basmati rice, your mantou is a must, and your grilled vegetables. And
So this is 2 buckets, right?
Yeah, this is two
buckets. Okay.
So these 2 buckets is sold at $243, fit to 4 to 6 people actually.
Jumbo bucket.
Jumbo buckets, yeah.
And a personal bucket, what does that look like?
Personal bucket, slightly a smaller one, just one on its own.
With the rice and the veg.
I'm not sure if with the rice, but
Okay.
I think it could be just with the mantou, or you
Okay.
just need to add on. So it's sold at $67. Yes, but the idea of it is that many of us go out and eat at restaurants, and the first thing we do is take out our phones. Use our phones, post on Instagram, and then use our phones again to text. So the idea of it was to actually pour it out all on a table. So the first thing you do is to place a plastic sheet all over it, and then get your hands dirty. There's no way that
Yeah,
you
you
are
can-
going to use
your
your
phone.
phone. Yeah, no way.
You'd be like, hey Siri, can you
Yeah.
text my husband?
Unless
My
you're
hands
Angel,
are
and then
busy.
she'll bring her
A tripod.
tripod there, and then
My phone will do everything.
Yeah. So I really love the idea of it. Like she was saying that she didn't really like the idea of her children using her phones, especially during dinner. That's like the only time you come together as a family, to eat.
I love it. Keep their hands dirty
Yeah.
so they can't do anything.
Yeah, so she said the first thing you do is definitely take a picture of the dish and then put your phones all aside, get your hands dirty as well. And I'm like, okay, that's a really very nice idea and approach. So I did ask them, why do you not open a F&B store, a brick and mortar shop, right? They said no, they want people to get comfortable at home, in their pajamas, in whatever style that they are at, they can just eat comfortably at home. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, it's a really different approach. So I do respect them for that.
I say do not open a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep it as it is. I mean, so many F&Bs like come and go,
Yeah.
but this is a nice idea.
Yes.
it's cool.
Very cool, yeah.
I want to get my hands dirty now.
But it is a great idea. I mean, like it's such a communal experience. If you had a party like with your close friends,
Yep.
break out a couple of bottles of your whiskey and whatnot, put it aside, right? But then you have all like sitting there and just talking,
Yep.
and just using your hands, which
Yeah.
is unusual.
Yeah. And they do also make or sell the pre-made sauces as well. So you can bring it back home.
And put whatever you want
whatever
in it.
you want. You can put your choice of protein. I saw the best
Tofu.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
instead of ayam masak merah, it's tofu masak merah.
Yes.
We can
No,
try that.
I am tofu.
Tofu.
Yeah.
Everything was like so delicious, and all of a sudden, like tofu.
Tofu and mushrooms and cauliflower.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So far I think the response has been really good. I mean, Singaporeans love everything salted egg yolk. We have like salted egg yolk fish skin, but now it's just slightly more heavy with like your seafood. So I think it's really nice. And my colleagues get to try. I didn't.
Oh, right.
They did say that it was fresh and it was delicious and it was really nice. They had it in the office. And I was
Oh,
like, wow. Having
How
that for
come they
lunch.
didn't invite you?
No, I wasn't around, so
Oh,
I
right,
had like
okay.
something on in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they went and do the shoot without me, and they brought it all back, and the boys were so happy to have it. I can imagine, having it for lunch.
Yeah.
But the food coma that comes after it.
I was just going to say, they must have been asleep after that.
that. But I think for me, having this shell out, I've tried other shell out, but I can taste that the seafood is not fresh.
Oh.
So the most important thing again, your seafood needs to be fresh. You can taste whether is it frozen or not.
Frozen, yeah.
And I think again, if it's the quality isn't good, it's a turn off lah.
You'll never go back. For
So
sure.
no matter how good the sauce is, your seafood needs to be good.
So how do people order
The
sauce?
sauces.
The sauce, yes, they can order it via their website at sauce.com.sg, or you can go to their Instagram account.
So okay, that's spelled SAOS.SG on Instagram and SAOSSG.com online to place your order. Great idea for the weekend.
Yep.
Do people have to like pre-order like a week ahead, or can they do it for like tomorrow?
No, they
Do
can
you know?
actually do it tomorrow, but there's a cutoff timing.
Okay.
Yeah, so you
okay.
can do it maybe like before 12 noon. I forget exactly the timing, but you can order for the next day itself.
Okay, I'll
Yep.
go online and have
So
a look.
you can definitely check. Yep. So I checked on the Pakistani dum biryani regarding the lamb shank biryani. They do have it at times, but not as a permanent menu item.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Maybe you can like give them a call, or the next time you
Yes.
visit them,
Maxo.
you can pre-order or
Yeah,
something.
you
like
can
that.
definitely WhatsApp them. She replied quite quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Going back on air one last time. Sia featuring Kendrick Lamar, the greatest, right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. We have been speaking to our Kaki Makan, Dahlia. And once again, you can follow her at kakimakan.bh for all the most delicious recommendations.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Saos, right? SAOSSG.com. I'm actually on their website. And my question was, can people order it for like this weekend and all that? So I've just gone to their calendar. I can order it for tonight.
Yeah.
So you can pick a time between 4 and 7 p.m. You can order it, and you can obviously order it for Saturday or Sunday as well. And typically it looks like they deliver between 4 and 7 p.m. So
Yeah.
it's great for dinner.
Yes, as I'm reading this now, you can have same day delivery, but you need to order by 8:59 a.m.
You have 6 minutes left.
Yes.
So this is just the sauces or the
No,
food as
the
well?
jumbo
food,
bucket.
The
Yeah.
seafood, yeah.
Yeah,
The-
so the jumbo buckets for 4 to 6, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Crabs, crayfish, mussels, squids, prawns, clams, mixed vegetables, garlic butter rice,
And the
12 pieces of mantou, and 1.5 liter
Liters.
soft drink
Yep.
given at random. Okay, so you can't pick your soda, obviously.
Yeah.
And then you can choose 2 sauces. And they have a list of like 12.
Endless, right?
Endless.
Yep.
It's so long. And don't worry, the plastic sheet is provided with every order.
Yes. Yeah.
What a wonderful
It's a really
treat
good idea.
for the family.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Over the weekend,
It's lovely.
especially.
It's a full meal.
It
Nice.
is. All right. Thank you very much, Dahlia, for coming in and once again recommending all the yummiest food. But as we said early on, please follow Dahlia, okay, at kakimakan.bh. Thank you so
Alright,
much, Dahlia.
thank you.
We'll see you next week. Have a
See
great
you.
weekend.
The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.